Hi everybody, your monthlies are finally coming out. I really had to kind of resolve in my own head how to do it to balance between everything I want to do for you and my current inability to actually donate as much time. So I decided to go free flow. And free flow, it's not going to have any kind of spread attached to it. I'm simply going to ask possibly different decks to give me messages for you. And we'll go with that. And this is sort of like really high level message that, it's going to tell you where you can go and to what you can amount and what you have to watch for. Like sort of like basic kind of like let's go for it kind of thing. I'm going to give in my bi-weeklies, which are always on the 1st and 15th published. So I'm sticking to that. And for those of you who are looking for X situation on and off, like there are also those series that are coming out every month. Now, before I move further, I actually want to send a shout out to everybody, and hopefully you will be joining in this particular proposal that I have. So I'm in the process of actually building my own card deck. It is collaboration between me and Mira, a wonderful, extraordinary artist. And so we are bouncing off the ideas back and forth. She's adding her basically touch to it, and everything that I have seen so far is like coming out really wonderfully. Now, I would actually like you guys to have your own touch to this basically making. And so I'm not doing this haphazardly. I don't know how much you know about me. I'm also a marketing professional. So I'm trying to select a group of people, 10 to 20, that, can give their 2 cents. And this is not like kind of a call for you giving accolades. This is really, I can understand this message in it. No, I cannot understand message in it, because that way you're going to set us straight to be on the right path. And so I'm trying to actually select these 20 to have men and women, people from all walks of life, people with all kind of tarot experiences, from, hey, I'm just here to watch it, to, yay, I am basically a guru. So if you guys are willing to jump on board, please go to www.cattarot.ca/focus group and just like submit your application. Why do you think you should be the one in that group? And I really, really appreciate everybody doing that. This is non-paid position, and it's purposely non-paid position because I do want you to give me a rough time. And this way, it's going to be a really wonderful creation, because sometimes I may be too much up in the air. I'm an air sign, and maybe I need to be grounded a little bit more because I really like abstract. Other people really like ground. So hence, this collaborative kind of like pointers would really help to set me and Mira sailing in a better direction. And it's going to be a few rounds of this. This is a very, very first preliminary round. And I'm really, really thanking in advance to everybody who actually spent time even listening to this plea, and especially to those who actually apply or participate in a study. Thank you so much, and I look forward to applications. All the best. And now for the rest of us, let's jump right into the reading. Hello, my Aquarian friends, and welcome to your October forecast. So, before we start on a card already prepared, let's start on the runes that I have actually picked up, and that will be giving us the overall kind of like guide and flavor of this month. The very first rune is Berkana, which is the rune of birth. This rune is actually reversed. This kind of like would be the regular way of looking at it. The key concept is this is a feminine nature. It is generally concerned with matters that traditionally were basically women's domain: intuition, emotions, herbalism, and sort of healing in kind of like wide sense of the word, like Reiki as well, that we consider today. This can also be that considered the rune of birth, and also the infancy and maternal feelings, right? In this rune tradition, Brekana is also linked with the birch tree, which was used in springtime fertility festivals, right? A birch branch was also once hung outside a dwelling to indicate if a woman was in labor, so therefore it was a symbol of birth, right? So in inverted meaning, Brekana basically indicates some possible disturbing news. That could be disturbing family news, and most likely it will be about a health of a relative, or some plans can be cancelled. Alternatively, this means that there was or there is going to be some kind of false start, and maybe going on a course that basically leads nowhere, right? So if that's the case, that you kind of hit the wall, or it's kind of like street without really end, then begin again. Also, if you guys are trying to conceive this month, there will be problems. So that came first, and with basically Dagas really jumping right out of it. So I was really glad to see it, because Dagas is the rune of the sun, and it is basically representing sun at noon and the long hours of glorious sunshine, right? It's kind of like now October, like, I mean, in the northern hemisphere we are going in the fall, and southern hemisphere is basically going in the spring. So sort of like it seems to be very appropriate to come out this way, right? So this rune doesn't have reverse, as you can see, right? So this is associated with laughter, with fun, and wonderful times. It looks like that anything old and frustrating, and looks like part of it is going to come to October, right? Whatever maybe was sad circumstances, they're coming to an end, and the good times will be in front of us. Yay! So the gas also signifies a breakthrough in anything that is really important to us. Even if that's a closure, if you want to get some kind of vibrations out of your life, or you want to get a new job, or you want to start new kind of like business, or if you're planning to fall in love, this is all kind of thing that should basically come your way, right? So this is also a rune that is associated with the idea of playfulness, right? And meaning that we guys, we don't want to admit it, but we are very, very serious, intense sign. Yes, Scorpio, just, move over. When we really get serious, we are really serious. So this is really kind of like something that gets to us when Uranus hits us. We get just crazy. All of a sudden we get a childlike kind of thing, and that's what people really like and dislike about us, right? This also can actually talk about travel, and this can talk about holidays. So I'm just trying to think. Well, I know in Canada we are going to have Thanksgiving soon. I know that our American friends, they have Thanksgiving all the way in November. So, but it could be maybe some holidays that we just claim for ourselves. When we call it, well, we need this extra Friday off or extra Monday, so we make 3 days just for ourselves. So I would say that this is a really, really good way, because something really beneficial will be coming our way, but it's not exactly what you think. And I'm going to explain in terms of the rest of the reading, right? Because now we have this Dreamtime, and I have to say that I have never yet seen this coming out, ever. I mean, I have this deck for a while right now. This is the very first time I see this card, right? So if you really think about it, like, I mean, the Dreamtime is a different place for different people. I think this is talking about the Aborigines of Australia, and this kind of like Dreamtime, it is a place before time and outside of time, where all this kind of like ancestors and spirits being come to earth, and this is where the life is forming. That's what the legends say, right? Once when the work is done, then these spirits remain in the very forms they created, including animals, hills, stars, and any other feature kind of like that now exist on the land, and they continue to be present today. So the dream time is individuals or groups spiritual basically template, and that's including songs, as we can see here, and stories that just have been handed down from one generation to another. And since the beginning of time, we still have the residue of that. In one such tradition, there's a creation story involving, I think it's called Daijuraidu, which is essentially a hollowed out log, which we see over here, right? That emits a droning sound when played. So in this card, we kind of like see that as kind of spirit man playing it. And as he is doing this, the world is being sunk into basically existence, right? And all this kind of colorful thinking happening. So with this card, I think it's asking us to go deep in the heart, because I'm doing this like sort of like in semi-light. But the card is really pink, so this is connecting us to your heart. And I would say that this is asking us to be aware. Very much unlike what other people tell us, we are really in touch with our hearts. We maybe are, if anything, too big of a softie, and hence we cut people off before they get to hurt us, and that's all they see. So keep in mind that we are able to sink into this place by breathing, because our breath is the crossover between spirit and physical reality. So breathing comfortably and steadily help us align ourselves with all the spirit and this outside world. And this is also asking us to basically be able to take a chance and discard any basically habitual thought patterns, right? Because this is obviously asking us to kind of release and enjoy this freedom. And kind of like, look, we see the music in both of these cards. Isn't this lovely? I mean, what are the chances that we kind of like get them both? So in this particular card here, we realize here is like that music of creation, but here is this music of harmony. What would our life be without it? Absolutely every nation, every culture has their own music. I even put on Facebook crickets. Somebody recorded crickets and slowed it down, and that kind of like created unbelievable symphony. It was just like spectacular. And this is like understanding that feeling in sync with everything, right? So this is basically a time for harmony for us, guys. What else can this mean? I mean, music is always time for celebration, and you can see basically the white bird, like we are finally freeing ourselves from any possible turmoil, because music can be channeling, because sometimes the tears are coming out when it really hits us or it reminds us of something. But these tears are basically cleansing. So the music also is uplifting. So whether this is releasing the energy of some kind of like internal kind of blocks, or creating the energy of that harmony and kind of releasing it in the world, this is going to have some really, really amazing effects. So this is like a really, really high kind of level, because does that sound like you guys? I know I am exhausted. I'm working so hard, but I really think that this is like what is happening to us just a few months before our birthdays, that we are kind of like wondering, oh my gosh, like, I mean, it's like a spring cleaning of our mind, like all the things. Look at this fellow here, look at his face. He doesn't look very happy. He is exhausted. Why? He has this stupid machinery created. How many layers did we create? Maybe our life is becoming too complex and too complicated. Maybe it's simply basically time for us to say, well, maybe it is enough. Maybe we should just decide to, drop it. Maybe we are too engaged with preoccupation, what other people will think. Maybe we are too engaged in some kind of expectation of certain things to come out and to kind of like connected to the result of this. And I think when you really think about it, what would happen if you just go on a vacation over here, right? So I think this is exactly what this card says. Look, we are exhausted doing this. How much longer can we sustain this? So it is asking us to change something. It's asking us to turn on the life inside of us. Because look at the next card. Isn't this lovely? Look at this. Trust. That is hard for us, isn't it? So look at this. This is a bungee jumper without a cord. And for that, you need this quality of absolute trust. Like when you do these corporate lessons and then your coworker has to kind of catch you. It is really hard, even knowing that even if you fall, it's really not much going to happen. So to have this kind of tremendous sense of belief is like something that we need to say in our life, right? So to leap is basically one thing, and it is the thing, it's a frail trail, right, of fall through basically empty sky, right? But I think what this card really gives a hint here is that what is basically going to happen on the other end. And I think this is like what most people miss here. This jump is happening, but look at this pink thing here, right? Pink, rose petals, welcoming, soft, cotton. We are falling into something beautiful, something juicy, and something soft. So it is finally trusting us, trusting that we can actually function without all these expectations that possibly other people have about us. And hence we are becoming the master. And this is a lovely card because this is the card number 22. And 22 is a master number. And this is the master. He doesn't have followers. He doesn't go around and tell anybody follow me. This is a master of himself. So this is where we are getting, guys. We are kind of finally realizing that the missing part in our life is that playfulness. And I think for quite a while with Aquarians, I have noticed this, that we have been challenged on levels that are not our native domains. We were challenged in our emotion area, and we were trying to reply to emotions with intellect. And that was like communicating with our cat in Spanish. It just really didn't really pay off. So this is kind of the last stage of that single-minded control, I gotta do it this way, which we have as a fixed sign. And it looks like this month we're going to say, that's it. Why not to have fun? Why not to just explore it and see where and how do we go? And what can we accomplish? How can I trust? Because that's a biggie. You can go and spend years and years in therapy to get to that level. But guess what, guys? It's going to pay off big times. The card that we are getting from my Law of Attraction deck is, yes, it is us. It's the star. This is the card of optimism. And the nakedness is talking about the truth. This is the truth, the trust in the master. We are coming to trust who we are. We are coming to trust that we actually do know what we are going. I'm talking too much. This is the last reading for today. That we know when we are going and why, right? This is an attempt to make our dream come true, even if the probability of it's very low, right? And I think this is why Berkana was here, because it's saying that we should and we will consider misfortune as being just some kind of temporary thing, right? And we are going to refuse to give up. even if obstacles show up. So part of that would be, if this is considering our work, it's going to be how we organized our life and how much fun do we really have at this work. How much of our time is spent on creation, because this is ultimately a card of hope, of looking up, and it's definitely relating to this trust. And coupled here with Two of Pentacles, it is talking about life going up, going down. This is kind of really complex card, right? And in this deck is made way more complex than the other decks. I just want to show you something. In one of these pentacles, he's holding a fishbowl. Another one, he's trapping a rat. Which one he's going to get to first? Or which one will run away first? You see, he's standing on a checkerboard, which kind of shows this duality, that he doesn't even know what he's doing. He is kind of like looking elsewhere. And the key to this card are those two ships here. Ships. Ownership. Friendship. Relationship. Partnership. Which one do we want? Because it looks like we have to follow our own star. We have to understand once for all that maybe certain things, maybe certain concepts, maybe the concepts that our family is saddling us with are not the concepts that are actually even doable for us. Maybe this is giving us this exhaustion. Maybe it's giving us headache. And we simply have to reassess and trust and embark onto something new. And guess what? It's going to be highly beneficial. What are the chances that we are getting a wish card and the Wheel of Fortune in exactly in the same order? So trust, and your wishes are going to be fulfilled, and the luck is going to be there with you. So I really don't have much to add other than we have also the King of Pentacles over here, the banker, and boy, would you like to have the closet full of money like he does? Because this is telling me that basically we might be meeting somebody. And it's funny, when you try everything and nothing works and then you give up, all of a sudden all the doors open. Look at that. Look at our doors. Music and harmony, the master, the banker, somebody willing to bestow his favors on us. And basically, this is more or less a friend who can actually go into something else. This is not a guy that you meet in a bar. This is some kind of a bookworm, somebody who really likes his banking. This also can mean real estate, and it could be anything connected to the earth, because pentacles really like the earthy kind of things. It's kind of grounding ourselves. We are grounding ourselves through emotion, as we can see it here, and we are grounding ourselves through kind of like this earth. So this is that creation that we are doing, like as our everyday kind of habit. So I see that is also earth. If we ever get into imbalance, we will actually have a resource. This could be a mentor. It could be a completely new possibility, new kind of love affair. Or it could be that we will be getting that mastery and knowledge, and maybe something that we always wanted to try, maybe something new, because I see it here that we are definitely turning the new leaf to something else, because the Magician, the number 1, is a lovely card. Magician is generally not a card of couplehood. And I know that some readers will tell you that there. We have here everything. We have swords, we have pentacles, we have cups, we have wands. So, Magician can create earthy goods. Magician can create words. And it can go on a spiritual level. Magician can create a love affair. Magician can create anything that brings passion. So this is giving us, I want to be counted in this because this is really good, an opportunity and ability to fly as high as we want or dive as deep as we want to. Because honestly, with maybe some false start in the beginning and wondering and maybe losing a few balls, right after that we'll say, you know what, I'm trusting you. I am going to try it myself this month. and it's going to pay off. So, okay, so let's see now Lenormand. What Lenormand tells us if we are going to expand on this storyline. So, Aquarius, October. Aquarius, I want to see this one up. Aquarius, October. Aquarius, October. Aquarius, October. We have the letter. How you see it jumped out and it came back. The owls and the fox. Okay, so some of us will be changing or expanding our jobs. The fox, or expanding people, or fox can also talk about people who are a little bit sneaky, who try to kind of like come close and take advantage of you, or that simply can be smart aleck type. And it tells me that we are going to really have a completely different way of dealing with them, because the owls are talking about wiseness. And there will be some kind of communications, maybe at work or maybe in general. The owls can also represent lovebirds, so it's going to be interesting now when I see the rest of the cards. So let's see what we have here. These cards are always seen upright. And there you go, there is one significator already out here. Let's put it lower so you can see it better. And I just got to this, interestingly enough. Okay, so this is actually really interesting, because this current situation would be that we'll be intrigued with someone, but at the same time it could be that somebody from the past, that fox that came out, the house and the ring. Was there somebody, guys, that you had in your recent past that you kind of like wanted to go in the direction of a ring and moving in together? This could actually also talk about a business cooperation. It could be about some kind of business that maybe you were conceptualizing. Certainly is not giving me too much information, other than certain things from the past will come back to the surface. We are no longer going to feel, confused. And this is where the trust comes in, because here, look at this, the child is giving us this ability to dream again. And there is this mountain. There is going to be some kind of obstacle we will have. The whip could mean that we need to crack the whip, whether it's in a situation as she is doing it to that maybe banker that shows up, or simply whip means that we have to sometimes raise things to the surface, because we had this guy who was completely exhausted, and the whip is good to remove that dust, something that is stale, something that doesn't work, right? And whip is definitely really needed if we are trying to cross the mountain. So now the question with the mountain is kind of like really interesting, because why would we have to climb the mountain? Why we cannot kind of like go and flow around it? So this is going to be possibly how we will deal with issue that is really ahead of us. We will actually have, guys, some business, and I think this is foretelling me, because this is a longer lasting card. This is not only lasting a month. So we will have to climb this mountain, and it looks to me that we will have anything we do, because we have the job and we have the business over here, and then we have a boat clover and a bouquet. And the clock tower can actually talk about government issues, right? So it looks to me that we are just ahead of something that's going to be a huge breakthrough, and something that is extraordinary financially rewarding. It could be self-employment, some form, because ring also means contract. And that banker, it could mean maybe getting a loan from the bank, because the lilies also talk about some kind of professional. It could be a doctor, it can be a lawyer, but it also can talk about the winter. It definitely talks about somebody from the past, and somebody from the past that we could have basically that we wanted to actually really shack up with. This also I see as us continuing with the dream. The child is always, chasing butterflies. So we want to catch this butterfly. So just make sure that when we are climbing this mountain, and I think this is why we had it, certain things are possibly dragging us down because we still have some reservations. I'm wondering how much of these reservations are connected to our family. And the house can represent the family as well and people we are surrounded with. Because there are still certain issues, certain unknowns that we need to kind of like get to terms with and kind of like disperse these clouds. The child is really wonderful news. This one says the conception is not going to happen. It's going to be really difficult. But the child generally means something that has been brewing under the surface. And now I'm saying, it is somebody from the past. Maybe somebody from the past is going to kind of tell us the news about that, well, they got a child, and that can create this huge mountain over here. For us is the issue, which is kind of allowing us, look at it's interesting. The roads are connecting, right? You can triangulate this right here. So it's going to be a decision we'll have to make. Maybe this is the decision that maybe we're going to say, okay, you created this mountain. It is your mountain at this stage. We really have to go toward this Dagaz. Dagaz is a wonderful rune, so we have this opportunity to really soar. So let's use it. And lastly, guys, I wanted to pick one card, and I picked basically two because the two jumped out. So the first card is Flying Reverse, and this is what it says. You have the power to see things from a higher perspective. Yeah, but sometimes it's hard, right? So reversed. When you see the flying card reversed, this is a gentle reminder there are times to take flight, at times to remain grounded, and for now you must avoid overreaching. There is still work to be done before you earn your wings. Be patient. Really, Aquarians are not patient. What you seek will not be out of reach forever. Remember the story of Icarus in Greek mythology, whose wax made wings and overconfidence brought him too close to the sun. He perished because he didn't realize his limitations. Humility is a great power, and now you must exercise it. Doing too much too fast too soon only serves to prevent a beautiful flight later on. So I'm wondering if this flying is connected to the clouds over here. So that's some limitation that maybe will be coming out. So it's going to be interesting. And the second card, and I'm keeping the best for the last, is Talisman. It says, a lesson truly learned is crystallized as earned wisdom. You have all you need for the success you seek. Wisdom allows you to recognize traps on the road and familiar patterns that you want to avoid. It also enables you to quickly gather information about where you are on your journey. It helps you recognize your allies, and know how to find the best routes along the way. Now you're at a place where you know the right things to do and the best choices to make. You really can't commit a mistake. Whatever your inquiry, great fortune awaits you, for you have the wisdom to arrive at the right decision. You have learned your lessons and earned the right to your success. So guys, let's trust this month and follow our dreams. Love you, Aquarians. Please contact me for your private reading, www.catterra.ca. And you are the loveliest communicative sign, and I just love to read your comments. So I have to say I'm so proud of my Aquarians. I have to tell you, you're putting Gemini that is really, really chatty to basically shame, and I'm really glad to see it. So hope I see your comments, and if you're not a subscriber, please click subscribe and click that like button. Thank you so much, guys. Love you. Talk to you soon. Have a great October.